question from beginners is, how should I divide up my budget when I put together a studio? Whenever I am asked this question, I recommend that the majority of your budget be spent on your studio monitors. The reason is familiarity. Your monitors are the connection between you and the music, and the only way to understand what you are hearing is to spend a lot of time with them. As you use a set of monitors, you will learn how what you hear in the studio translates to the outside world, and this allows you to make better decisions. Every time you transition to new, unfamiliar monitors, you have to start this process all over. That's why it's better to get something you can stick with for a long time. If you are constantly upgrading, you will significantly impede your development. The main thing you want when you buy a monitor is detail. You'd never ask a professional photographer to edit their photos on an old CRT television. Why? Because those televisions don't have enough resolution to see all the details to allow the photographer to make good decisions. Audio is the same way. If you can't hear it, you can't make a judgment on it, and someone with a higher quality set of speakers will hear all the flaws that you couldn't. As a creator, you need to work with tools that are a higher quality than what the average consumer uses. So what does that mean for audio? I recommend a frequency response that goes down to at least 50 Hz. Hums at 60 Hz are a common issue in recordings, and you want to be able to catch that as well as any other low-end noises that can sneak into your recordings. Beyond that spec, you need to listen to the monitors you are considering. Play a piece of commercial music you know well. On good monitors, you should hear things you've never noticed before, especially in the mid-range. The high end should be detailed, but not harsh. You'll be spending many hours with these monitors, and you don't want to fatigue your ears. Microphones might be tempting as the biggest investment to make, but I find, and most of my peers agree with this, is that it's better to have a cheap mic and good monitors than the other way around. It's better to hear exactly what you are getting from an inexpensive microphone than it is to not know what you are getting from an expensive one. That said, the most important part of your recording chain is the microphone, so try to get a few decent industry standards. Check out the link to our mic collection video at the end of this episode for some ideas. The last priority for me would be acoustics. I disagree with making them a higher priority for a beginner for one practical reason. You'll probably move. Even if you have the resources to identify and treat your room, all that money would be wasted as soon as you move out of that location. That's not to say acoustics aren't important. I strongly believe you should spend some money on improving the sound of your room, but for a beginner, the investment should be minimal. You should definitely start by getting some absorption behind your monitors, but I'd be fairly conservative beyond that. For everything else, I suggest buying basic name brand items. Interfaces don't have much impact on the sound of your recordings in the big picture. As long as it has enough inputs and outputs, it will be fine for now. The computer, on the other hand, is a bit of a moving target. It all depends on exactly what you expect to do with it and what platform you plan to use. Those are personal choices, but in my opinion, you will learn more if you start with less. Limitations foster creativity. Buying a fully stocked studio computer can end up being a crutch and a waste of money. But that's another conversation.